can you see this person's perspective, but can you see beyond this barrier that is in front of you right now? And we do get to that place of gratitude and actually appreciation. Now, it takes us refusing to stay in a victim mindset in order to do that.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to you.
Thanks.
I'm not in a victim mindset, but there ain't no telling what's going to happen today.
Well, alrighty then. We'll just roll with it.
I said, I don't have the new studio set up. So I said, we're just all in the glory. I said, little natural lights, all I got going on. And so it's what we are. We are here. It's Happy Heart Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day to you as well.
Thank you for the sweet card.
You're welcome.
You are on it with cards. I've got to tell you, you are just on it. I can't see. I said, mailing stuff is so hard for me. I never get stuff mailed, but you are on it. How do you manage to do that?
I prioritize. I just write. I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy doing. So because I enjoy doing it, I will go through it's who comes to mind, who comes to heart. Some days I've got a huge box of cards here I love to pick out cards. So I've got a box of cards that I've picked out along the way. And I may just sit down with my old school address book, because even though I have them in my phone, I still put them in an old school address book and literally just go through my address book and just, pick and choose throughout the year. And it's always fun. I enjoy doing it.
Valentine's Day used to be the day that I really looked forward to in school, because we'd have the Valentine's party and we'd have our little bags with the Valentines we had written out at home. And I don't even know if kids still do that.
I think they do. They're just a little more advanced Valentines these days. I didn't do it this year, but I usually buy the little boxes, pre-made boxes that we would use in school, and write them out and have them at the office for clients with a little treat. Because it's just fun. It's just fun. I think every day is Valentine's Day. Like, I think every day we should express gratitude and love. I mean, you do want to throat punch some people sometimes, but still the overarching is gratitude and love.
I have a list going. I have a list.
For the throat punch or the love?
For the throat punch. And a lot for the love too. I'll be honest. Well, this is our first day back live in a long time. And Michelle joins us on YouTube. Hello.
Hey,
and there's EB.
Hello.
Hi, lady. And she says, I'm not on that either. But I sure think about sending them the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it. And the magic of that Teri just gave us was prioritize. It's like, if it's what you want to do, prioritizing is it. Corinne is with us. Hello.
Hey, Corinne.
And Janie Trudell is with us. Upstate New York is checking in with Corinne and Janie. Happy Valentine's Day. And Corinne, we missed you too. This is the time I go, whatever we do, we got to get Launch Date back up and running. For those of you that don't know, I left the job I did have, and I have taken a new job with a nonprofit called Mustang Heritage Foundation. And during my little lunch break, we're having our launch date, which is what a lot of you guys do each and every week. You join us during your lunch break as well. And some people join us after the fact. But today I thought we'd have a Happy Heart Day and talk about what it's like. And it was curious to me because I've talked to a lot of people who are making big plans for Valentine's Day. They're doing things and they have all their plans for their sweeties. And I can't help think, I know that when Christmas comes and things aren't great at home, or you don't have a significant other, whatever, there are issues. But Valentine's Day is that one day set aside for people who are in love or in a relationship. And if you are in a relationship and it's not sweet, how do you navigate that?
I guess you eat corn dogs and watch Netflix. I don't really know. I'm not in one, so I don't have an answer for that. But again, I think it all just depends on what you attach to it. You know, I mean, I don't want to jump off in the whole commercialism thing, but I think that, again, it is whatever the expectation is around it. You know, if you feel like you need to go spend $300 for 12 roses, then knock yourself out. You know, a lot of it, I believe, is precedence over, you know, what people get at their office and what people can post on social media. And so people go both ways. People either go through the roof with, look at all the sweet treats I've gotten, and I'm so loved, and here's all the things I'm going to do. Or they're on social media going, screw love, nobody cares about me, and I don't care about anybody, and I can do life on my own. And both of those are a little excessive. You know, I mean, like, depends on how much energy you want to give it. It's literally waking hours, 12 hours. And if people can either make it miserable for themselves or they can live life like they do every other day and just from a place of love and gratitude.
Well, Corinne shares cream cheese and jelly for me today. So I love that. Love that idea. Joyce Stinson Jeanette, good afternoon, beautiful girls. We're good to have you with us, Joyce. I think about those days that are set aside for love when you are in a relationship with someone who and the words toxic, narcissist, all those words, I'm just kind of tired of the words right now.
Me too.
The bottom line is, and we know what we're dealing with. If you're dealing with a narcissist, if you're dealing with toxicity, if you are the narcissist and you're dealing with toxicity, if you have just someone that maybe the fire is gone, this can be a tough day. And we're going to talk about how to navigate that.
But is it really a tough day?
It is. It would be for me.
Okay.
It would be for me. I mean,
why is that?
Because when I was in a toxic relationship, for some reason I let the day put pressure on me to say things and do things that I wasn't feeling.
So you let the day dictate because of obligation or expectation.
Right.
Yeah. But you don't have to do that. So you're not in one now. So that would be like how is like for someone who's in a relationship and you're not feeling the love, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong to looking inside your soul to say, do I genuinely love this person? Have I agreed to partner with this person? Mm-hmm. And if I have, I'll express my gratitude for that. But that doesn't mean you have to go out and do strawberries dipped in chocolate and buy new lingerie and buy a new car with a bow on it and, you know, go to a fancy restaurant and get all the flowers. I mean, that's the excessive stuff. Again, if it's your thing and you like doing that, knock yourself out. But it's no different really than birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Like it's just, it's a day to recognize, not necessarily like our culture has become excessive. So instead of just recognizing with a simple Happy Valentine's Day, I love you, or, you know, I've cooked your favorite meal, or Happy Valentine's Day to me, I don't really like you, so I'm going to go spend the day by myself. You know, whatever it is, we've taken everything to the excessive. So it gets committal in Valentine's, in the Valentine's era, so to speak.
I think that Valentine's Day, when you're in a situation where you're going, everything around me is hearts and flowers and all this other stuff, it does make you take a look. If you go, I feel none of that. I am here in this relationship with this human being and it's awful. That's the day when you go, okay, let's be honest about the relationship. I think that when you have those days when you're having these conversations, if it's fighting, if it's arguing, if it's just misery, if there's abuse involved, things like that, and you go, I think the day makes me look more honestly at the relationship that I'm in. I don't try to create the love where it's not. I just try to, and I think what you're saying too is that be honest is where it first begins. Be honest.
Yeah, and
it
doesn't just begin with a countdown on a calendar.
No.
Like it's accountability. Like if you are I mean, this is going to be harsh, but if you're miserable on Valentine's Day, you had like 365 days to get your ass out of that. So, I mean, like that is that tough love kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if you're in a place, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole domestic, you can't escape that kind of stuff, because that's really not what this is about. But
No.
it's about self-accountability is what, I mean, and the truth of it is, Valentine's Day is not about necessarily, well, it's about whatever you want it to be about. I don't think it's about necessarily having to have a partner. That's where everybody in our social spheres go to. I think if you've got family you love, pets you love, kids you love, places you love to visit, then that's where your heart is that day. Not just about if you spend all day on social media or other places that are going to make you sad, then that's on the person doing that. That's irresponsible with your heart space. But
well, if you're looking at your relationships or your non-relationships a little bit more, that's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. And like Teri said, it's not just about today. It's if you're miserable today, chances are you were miserable yesterday too.
And you'll be miserable tomorrow.
Yeah. So
only you'll have something to complain about, which is
how do we fix it? Yeah. And how do we fix it? How do we do it? And we start making decisions about your day, because when you are in a situation where you're miserable all the time, or you're angry about your situation, those two things, misery and anger, are the things that your body is trying to tell you it's time to make a change.
Well, now, I mean, anxiety is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety is a big one, bigger than anger or misery. Anxiety is a big one, where if that's in your job, wherever it is, it's that surfaces, and that's your body. It's your body's ADT system trying to alarm you that something's going on. You have to look at that. It's really not about other people. It's about our accountability.
It is. Elizabeth says, my ex and I didn't really celebrate Valentine's Day. I always told him that I knew every day how he felt, and that was way more important to me.
Sure.
I like that. Angie joins us. Hi, Angie.
Hey, Angie.
And I love this. My soul tribe is the best Valentine. I love that. Having your soul tribe is important. Janie says, when I met my guy, he hated Valentine's Day. Whoever broke his heart before I came along must have did something that day to him. Took him years to want to celebrate with me. And this morning, of course, they just got married. Janie Sweet. And her guy just got married. She said, this morning I woke up to chocolate.
Sweet.
I love it. Chocolate, and I always say that if you're in a situation and you don't have a significant other and you go, but nobody's here to buy my Valentine, I cannot stand that victim mindset. Mm-hmm. Janie says, after 15 years, we got married. Hey, you did it how you did it.
Everybody has their process.
That's right. Buy your own dadgum chocolate.
Right. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. I mean, like we put so much emphasis on, certain days. Like, okay, case in point, Memorial Day comes around every year. Do people sit around and, well, I don't have anybody celebrate Memorial Day with? No,
probably not.
Right. It's what we choose to make of it.
It's what we assign to it.
So when you wake up in the morning and you look at your person, or you look at your pup, or you look at outside and the sun is out, you're in love with it. You're grateful for it.
I love this. I bought him lasagna. He's picking up our takeout now.
There you go.
Lasagna and chocolate sounds like a darn good Valentine's Day to me.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of my friends who are not in a coupled situation right now. Most, if I'm honest. And we talk about a lot of times, some people are great with that. Some people are not great with that. But ultimately, Teri, you always point out that if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, no relationship is going to be ready and be good for you.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't. And here's the thing: if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you're not going to be ready to be coupled with somebody else. And if you do have a good relationship with yourself and you inadvertently couple with someone who doesn't have a good relation with their self, you're probably going to have your heart broken.
Well,
so you can't force it.
Michelle said, Bailey, my dog, and I do pretty good on our own. I love that. I love that. Well, I laugh right now because Tupelo is one of my kitty cats, and Tupelo is right next to me, curled up on it, literally has decided that my bag that I carry, I call it my go bag, but it's got, my little purse that has my money in it. And then it's got my other stuff in it. Literally, Tupelo has decided that inside that bag and curled up in the top of it is the coolest place on earth. So, so I guess Tupelo and I are having our Valentine's too. I want to encourage everybody, if you have a situation and you get sparked by this day, and this was actually a conversation that I had yesterday. Somebody told me, I hate Valentine's Day.
Ouch.
I hate Valentine's Day. It just reminds me of all I do not have. And that hurt my heart because I don't think of Valentine's Day like that at all. I mean, I kind of didn't think of Valentine's Day, but then it hit me, oh, Valentine's Day. We put pressure on ourselves sometimes. I've got to have the reservation at the right restaurant. I've got to somehow get the right gift. I've got to somehow do this. Like you said, those are all self-imposed.
They are. And again, if people are waiting to the last minute and then freaking out because they're not doing enough, that's probably a self-imposed thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joyce says, my boxer Toby is for sure my Valentine. He loves me better than anyone.
There you go.
Everybody has that, Annie is with us. Hi, y'all. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
I love this. Elizabeth says, I won't ever be in a relationship just to say I'm in one.
Right.
I'm over that. I'm too old for games like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I always equate Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve very similarly. Who are you going to kiss at midnight? Who's the, and those are really weird things. I remember every year I went with a group of people to a Valentine's Day happening. And this particular year I had no one to go with. And I invited a friend that lived in another city to come and go with me. And then I realized I put all this pressure on this friend that I didn't really know. I mean, and I go, why am I putting so much on this night? And then you get to midnight and you go, oh, hell, I didn't even factor in this. I go, we don't even really know each other, and it was one of those kind of things. We do that. Well, New Year's and on Valentine's, Christmas Eve, who are you going to spend that time with? And I think today I kind of wanted to bring up the pressure that we just put on ourselves. And it's silly, really.
Yeah, because as you're talking about this, literally in my brain, I'm going, I don't ever do that.
I know you don't, but I'm like this person who I put weird pressure up to, and I don't now. I'm 62 years old. I don't do it now, but I did. And I see friends of mine who are younger and who are older, quite frankly, going, I don't want to be alone at Christmas. I've got to get in a relationship so I don't have to be alone at Christmas. And I'm going, and I'm just being realistic. That is a case. John joined. Hi, John Bell. How are you, sweetheart?
John.
I've been single so long that Valentine's is just another day to me. My best advice, everyone, is to never marry on Valentine's Day like I did my first wife. I love you, John. John is a fisherman, a great fisherman, and he has always got a great relationship with his little dog. And
nice.
Annie says, I found my soulmate and didn't think there'd be another. No one would put up with me.
There you go. There you go.
And Elizabeth says, yes, Valentine's and New Year's Eve are stepsisters that get a lot of extra hype as part of a greeting card holiday. Mm-hmm. Solo Christmases can be delightful.
Yeah.
And they can be.
Well, I think as long as we have the capacity inside ourselves to not get hung up on outside influences when it comes to whether you want to spend New Year's Eve by yourself, whether you want to spend Christmas by yourself, whether you want to go to Tahiti at Christmas or go to the beach at Christmas, whether you want to, shower, your loved one on Valentine's Day, or whether you want to go sleep in a tent. I mean, like, it doesn't, it's an individual thing. And where in my opinion, where we go wrong is not wrong, but where we sidestep and dip into the judgy thing about ourselves and others is when we start comparing. There's the comparison about what I did. I remember when I worked at Vanderbilt, there was a woman in one of the departments, and she would always go around and look at what everybody got from their husbands, boyfriends, whatever, Valentine's Day. And then one year, I was running errands and I walked past her desk, and there was this amazing, beautiful flower arrangement. And I remember saying, that is amazing. How beautiful. And I didn't ask, who are they from? I didn't ask anything like that. I just commented that they were absolutely beautiful. And she said, they are. She said, I sent them to myself. And I was so taken aback, but also stinking happy for her that she bought something for herself that she could sit at her desk, that she could look at, she could smell, and it wasn't about, I need this to be whatever. She just liked it. And she said, everyone has things, and she wasn't married. She said, I don't typically have things like this. And I just really thought I'm going to treat myself. And so she did. And I said, bravo you, again, you have to be aware of what kind of pressures, I love being in love. I love celebrating holidays. I don't necessarily go over the top of the moon at holidays, but I enjoy that mixture. So the thing is not to put yourself in comparison with other people. Ooh. Spend your day for you, whatever it is that you like. If you want to make a pizza and sit there and cut the pepperonis in heart shape and put them on there, do that, but do what works for you. And not necessarily the expectation and obligation of what you think you need to be doing in order to keep up with the Joneses or the Smiths. No shade to any Joneses or Smiths out there, but do the day for you, because in 24 hours it's over with. And guess what? You can all go to Walmart and Kroger and buy 75% off chocolate. So,
Rusty Golden, who I absolutely adore more than lunch and jewelry, he said that's his deal. He goes, I always wait till the next day and go to Walgreens and everything is half off or whatever. And that's like, that's the time to go. And it's a very cool thing is to say, okay, I'm going to celebrate Valentine's Day the day after and get my discount candy and my discount roses, and I'm going to enjoy my day. You do it. Do you? Michelle said, I had the conversation with my grandma around the holidays about being alone. I told her in the nicest way I could, it bothers you more than me.
Yeah. And that's because, and I'm assuming, Michelle, you're talking about your grandmother didn't want you to be alone at the holidays, right? And that's because that's a very sweet thing to do, to have that conversation, to say, I love that you love me, but also I'm good. Like I'm really good.
There were a lot of those conversations. Yeah. I got to say. Lisa Richard joins us. Annie says, we celebrate our love every day, and I'm never jealous over the jewelry, flowers, lavish gifts others get. My husband is the best gift I could ever have. I love that, Annie.
There you go. Yeah.
I love that. And Michelle said, yes, ma'am. She's agreeing with you. I think finding ways to not let ourselves get caught up in the Instagram, social media pressure of how do we spend this day? Showing off your roses, showing off whatever. I laughed because I worked at WSIX for a long time, and I had done had done interviews and promotional things, and I'd help people out with certain things. And so from time to time, I would get flowers at the front desk, and sometimes they were from a gentleman caller, as we would say. And One time there was an especially beautiful one, and everybody was like, Devon got flowers. Devon got flowers. I opened the card, and it was a local funeral home that was saying, thank you. Thank you for giving them such nice coverage. And I had done something for them at what event. And I closed it up, and they said, who are they from? And I go, I'll never tell. And just put it away. And, and I thought that was one of those kind of funny little moments, because I think everybody loves romance. And if we get caught up into people aren't really as much trying to compare to us or check out, everyone wants a love story. I think that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have been a perfect example of that. Whether you love Taylor Swift, you hate what she stands for, whatever. If you don't like the Kansas City Chiefs and you don't like Travis, I don't care about any of that. People like a love story. And I think that's been fun to watch that transpire right now. And I kind of vicariously watch all their stuff. I watched the Super Bowl this year, and I don't even watch football because I wanted to see all the love stuff. I said, it's like Hallmark and football all came together on the same show. I'm just hopeless. I'm hopeless.
Was there a lot of love in the Super Bowl?
There was a lot of love in the Super Bowl. There was a lot of Travis and Taylor, all that stuff. And I wanted to see.
I don't know. Did they show them a lot?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I don't know.
I know, but I did. And my point is that we all love a love story. That's why Hallmark has a market. I am the market. Meet me. But I love, like you said, I love love. I love falling in love. I love being in love. Staying in love is a little difficult for me, but I do encourage everybody that finding that place within yourself I don't know if it takes us going and buying ourselves a card, buying ourselves the rose, buying ourselves the chocolate heart, but acknowledging that we are worth that moment, that time, that celebration. Today, I want you to celebrate the love of who you are. And if you're in a relationship, whether it's a good one or bad one, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to experience the love for yourself that you have, because as you are a complete person, you bring that complete person to that relationship that you're in.
Right. And if you're in a relationship that you're not so happy in, you start doing the work around why you're in that relationship.
Yes.
Because, which is where, we all have choices.
Which is where we started in this conversation. And that's the whole point. We get really caught up in terms and terminology. You fall in love and that person turns out to be human. They have good days. They have bad days. Sometimes it turns out you fall in love with someone and they have an addiction. Sometimes you fall in love and you realize you have an addiction.
Yeah.
Finding your way to get yourself healthy, whatever that is. And I will tell you that part of my steps for me to get healthy was making a phone call to Teri. That's what I did. And it helped me. And it was one of the most nourishing self-care things I ever did in my life. And I'm grateful every day that I got to do that.
Well, I'm grateful that you did, because our paths crossed.
I know, right?
Right.
Joyce, I was just fixing to say, as my nanny used to say, that you are hopeless, Devon. I am. I'm totally hopeless. I'm totally hopeless in a lot of those things, but I'm not hopeless like I was before. I'm hopeless in a good way. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I'm proud to say that. And I'm glad to have romance and love romance again. Elizabeth says, love can be wonderful with the right person. Maybe that will happen again for me, and maybe it won't. Either way, I am a whole person.
Right. And that's what it's about when, not to get woo-woo on people, but when we get into that, raising our vibration, putting our energy out there, you might be in love with someone, and they might not be in love with you. And you find that it ends. That doesn't mean that you can't still share your love. And that doesn't mean that you can't still be lovable, loving. There are a lot of people in relationships that are in them because they're convenient, because the love the love fizzled a long time ago. But I don't, I think that if people are in those relationships, they have to look at why they're in those relationships. I am a hopeless romantic when it comes to being in love. I absolutely love being in a relationship. But again, you have to choose healthy people, because you have to allow the time and the space and the relationship to cultivate and to grow. That has to take precedence over your need to be in a relationship and claim a relationship status, because you can get in a relationship real quick. And if you don't know yourself and you don't know the other person, you can ride that wave for, I tell people when I'm working with couples and they're like, well, I just don't understand. Statistically, it's about 6 to 8 months. On the long stretching it out, it might be a year. And then people get comfortable, and then life starts happening. And it's important that people not just allow themselves to fall into relationships and fall into and fall into love because it feels good, but also to allow yourself to lean in and to feel that and to grow. That's, love is not a Bradford pear tree. It's an oak tree. If you fall in love real fast because you just need to be in love, because that's a fix that you need, a scratch you need itched. If you or an itch you need scratched, whatever, you know what I meant.
I did.
If you fall in fast, then when the storms come, anybody that knows anything about, are they the Bradley pears or the Bradford pears?
Bradford,
trees?
Yeah.
Anybody that knows anything about those trees is that they're beautiful and they grow fast and they're just precious and beautiful and everybody loves them. But when the strong wind comes, they snap like a toothpick. So you've got to be willing to know yourself, know your love, know you're tolerant, know all of that,
Yeah.
And Angie makes a perfect point here. I tell people all the time, and they're like, I need to be in a relationship. I'm like, well, then you probably will fail at this, because a need is not a need is that desire, choosing that person, like Angie's saying, she wants him. That's a big difference than needing somebody.
That's good.
Not that
Candy.
you don't need them, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Candy is with us. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
And happy birthday, Candy. Today's Candy's birthday.
Is it? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I didn't know it was her birthday.
It is.
I have not been on Facebook this morning, so I've had computer issues this morning, which is why I don't have all my stuff set up. But
well, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I saw that on Facebook. I think my memory triggered that when her name popped up, because I remember last year when we were talking on Valentine's Day and she was talking about her name was Candy. And immediately when I saw her name pop up, I remembered. At least I hope it's your birthday. If it's not, happy birthday, even if it's in July. But I think it's today.
I love that. I love that. Annie says the perfect person is out there. It happens when the moment is right. It happens when it's supposed to, and most often when you're not looking.
Absolutely.
Mine was after one failed marriage and 2 kids, when I felt unlovable and that I would never find love again. Oh, Annie, that is the sweetest. And Joyce said, I meant that in a good way, that I was hopeless. When you put football and Hallmark together.
Yes.
And I'm not alone in that. I'm okay. I love I don't even know what you call them. You know how they put the couple names. Y'all might know the couple name.
Oh, yeah.
Travis and Taylor. I don't know. But she says, oh yeah, Peacock will show us their feathers eventually.
Yeah.
When people everybody's saying happy birthday now to Candy, and Candy says, I always tell my daughter to go through a year full of every season before she decides to do anything long term. Ooh, that's good advice.
That is good advice. And you know where my head has gone now since you said the dual name, all I can think is maybe it's Tacey.
See? Tacey. I like that. And Elizabeth says, and Annie has a sweetie for a husband. So does Angie. And Candy says, thank you. It is my birthday.
There
See?
you go.
Everybody's on the birthday train now. Well, this feels like a party. This feels like a party. I did want to point out too, in the last few weeks, I've had an inordinate amount of people who reached out to me who have, and everybody that if you know, you know, that's wanting to point a finger at their qualifier. And what I mean by that is if you have someone in your relationship that is an addict, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's whatever, and and the age old thing is that the other person will, I wouldn't even have a problem if it weren't for their drinking. I wouldn't have a problem if it weren't for them using. I wouldn't even have a problem if they could control their pants. I mean, whatever the thing is, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to speak to you who are out there. If you think that the qualifier, the person with the addiction problem, is the problem and the only problem, I have a couple of meetings that you might need to attend yourself, because we got to clean up our own stuff. And I learned that firsthand. And so I want to tell you that there's some great programs. If fixing people might be your addiction,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to sit up on your high horse and think you have got nothing to do with nothing, then you got your own stuff, and you got to clean out your own side of the street.
You got to keep your side of the street clean. And it's not your job to parent,
I knew, Elizabeth. Oh, hell no. Also, we need to clean up. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you have to be willing to. That's the thing, is you have to be willing to be accountable for what's on your side of the street.
Joy says, I'm out here. I hate my husband's drinking. It's not totally bad, but too much. We all get caught up in those things. It's really easy if you can point to a substance and get mad at a substance. That's the easy way out.
But also there's a lack. There's an accountability part in there where we make contractually, verbally, or through marriage or through whatever, that we are accepting of that in some way. You might not like it, but we're accepting of it in some way because we choose to stay and live with it, whatever that is, whether it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, shopping, gambling, porn, drinking, doesn't matter what it is. There is always two halves to each one of those stories. And it's not the pointing fingers of the she said, he said, she said, he said. It's not that. It's about being able to step back and go, what is my role in this? And take accountability for that. And that is not always an easy ask of ourselves, but it is something that you have to do if you want to find that peace of mind that so many people talk about.
And I know that in the class here, we can all say with, this might sting a little. This is the Teri thing, when she looked at me and she says, okay, what are you getting out of this?
Yeah.
It was one of those moments. Candy says you can't control what someone else does, but you don't have to like it.
Right. But think about it is when I ask people, what are they getting out of it? Most of the time people will go like, I'm not getting anything out of it. But yeah, I mean, like when people stay stuck in that thing about, I don't have enough money. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm not going to apply for this. I just can't. I can't. And I'm like, what are you getting out of this? The reality is you're getting a chance not to succeed. You're getting a chance to still complain. You're getting a chance to not be brave and put that foot forward. And you're getting the chance to still play small, because sometimes, and this is not a slam, but sometimes playing small and being inside our comfort zone feels uncomfortably comfortable, but it feels very safe, even though it doesn't allow us to reach our full potential in life. And we can have our wings clipped. We can have our petals pruned, whatever the words are we want to say. And we can become very comfortable in that uncomfortable, but still something's in there asking for more.
Well, I will say it's time for us to pull things to an end. Candy says, "Youch, that's a Terryism." Yeah. And Elizabeth says, "If I'm not changing me, I'm getting something out of the status quo. Always, just have to find out, as it's not always apparent." You have something that an online kind of it's an online thing, but not public. Let's talk about your Thursdays.
Mondays.
It's Monday. Why did I have Thursday in my mind? Okay,
Mondays. It's the last Monday. It's starting this month. The last Monday of the month. The last Monday of each month from February into December. I'm hosting and facilitating an online community gathering spot for women who are, and we may do one for men in the future, but right now it's for women who are going through menopause, perimenopause, the sage woman, the wise woman, the sage sisters, the women out there who are in a certain season in life where, they can be, you reach a certain age group where people start to be overlooked, and we feel like we're not aging well, and we feel like we don't know our bodies well, and all of that kind of stuff. And there's not really a community out there. And this is not a session for people or a group for people just to get together and complain. It's about growing and laughing and learning and diving in and all of that. And it's a free online Monday evenings from 6:30 Central to 7:30 Central Time. And if anyone is interested in that, they can shoot me a text, 615-513-2700. I just need your email address so that I can send you a recurring link. It's not something that if you sign up, to do it in February and you do it in March and then you don't want to do it in the rest of the year, that's fine. Like, I'm not attached to it in any way, shape, or form. I've just had enough clients, enough friends, people out there that say, I want a group of people that understand what it's like to age. And, and I had somebody reach out to me one day and she said, well, I want to be a part of the group, but I feel like I can't because I've had Botox done and I've had some other work done. And I was like, girl, it's not about that. Like, if you want to Botox yourself up, Botox yourself up. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a community of, like-minded. We will not be talking about politics. We will not be talking about religion, because I will have to give everybody back team, and just because we ain't going to those stinging subjects. That's not what it's about. It's about getting together with good energy and just going, God, I know I was in the movie theater and laughed so hard till I peed and it was so embarrassing. And then, just in that space and what it's like, what does the body go through when we go through perimenopause and menopause? How does it change? And all of those things, empty nesters, if you're a widow, all of those things. That's we're coming together to talk about big topics. And I will bring a topic monthly, and the folks will get the topic ahead of time so they can think about it. Or if there's something that someone wants to talk about, we can absolutely do that.
Well, Candy says, you got mine. Sign me up, sister. Elizabeth says, I'm so looking forward to this. And Angie says, I might miss the first one. We'll be on a cruise ship, but if the internet is decent, I'm going to be there. It's just what we do. And again, we say thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to be back into our live swing of things. And hopefully I'll be back in the studio setup because I will tell you, though, Tupelo is down here making biscuits. And
look how sweet.
Tupelo is going, let me back at my biscuits, Mama. Let me back at my biscuit. And so I kind of like that part, and I don't know if you can hear him purring, but he's got the loudest purr in the world. And he's like, this is great. I love being here. I like this show, Mom.
Right.
Well, I have Tupelo and Elvis, and they are really cute. They are really cute, and they're like hanging in. And he says, count me in. Have a great day, everyone. Be blessed. And Joyce says, I thought I heard something. Yes, you hear a biggie purring Tupelo.
Yeah.
Um,
So yes, if you do want to be a part of that and I don't have your email address, I need you to give me your email address. So if you want to drop it in the messages below, if you want to send me a personal message, or if you want to text it to me, just as long as I have it, because I'll be sending out this week the recurring thing. And right now there's about 22, 23 women signed up.
wow.
So yeah. And again, it's, it's just, I'm putting it out there because there's been a need and people have asked and asked and asked, and I'm in a position where I can facilitate that, and I'm happy to do that. So
it's just going to be fabulous. So Monday nights, and you and Annie's putting her on. So if you want to put your email addresses either in the feed or in a private message to Teri, well, you guys, see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. And until then, everybody say it with me. We haven't said it in a while. Increase the peace.
Increase the peace. Yeah.